What is happening at J Gaming Dude here, and I'm not going to be coy about this whole conversation, so let's actually talk about the PS5 Pro. Now, this is already going to be a video that's going to be going up a little bit later than usual because I'm sure a lot of people have already, talked about the PS5 Pro, and unfortunately, I haven't actually had enough time to kind of, record my thoughts on the actual console itself and be able to put it up in a timely manner, so this is going to be a tad bit late, but I'm pretty much just going to say the whole idea of PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is the AI upscaling tech for the PS5 Pro, is a pretty cool idea. And I do want to see more things take advantage of that. Unfortunately, I don't imagine there being a lot of games that are going to be doing just that. In addition to that, the PS5 Pro is going to be an all-digital console that does... Oh, actually, I say all-digital. It'll be a digital console and we'll be selling a separate disc drive, which you will have to pay extra for. Its kickstand is also going to be a little bit extra as well, so do keep that in mind as additional things. And of course, that kind of leads us to the main conversation that I'm going to be having, which is the PlayStation Pro price. The PS5 Pro is going to be at, and what I would argue, an absolutely massive $700 US. Now, during the presentation, they did show off some screenshots of what it looked like on PS5 and what it looks like on PS5 Pro, certain games. And I'll be completely honest, I could not tell a difference. Unless I'm completely missing something, some slight blurry effects on the PS5 are made clearer on the PS5 Pro. And with the addition of PSSR being a cool idea, I can't imagine this console being worth the price. So then the question then becomes, how on earth did we get here? But just before I tackle that, Jeff Keighley put out a pretty good tweet. So Jeff Keighley put out the prices for consoles of previous generations equivalent to today's money. So say for example the PS1, which released in 95, does in fact cost $611 in today's money. The PS2, $546 in today's money when it released in 2000. PS3, $778 in today's money as per how it was, which was I think $600 in 2006 because it was like $599. The PS4 sold at $538, which is in today's money back in 2013. The PS4 Pro $522, PS5 $606, and then the PS5 Pro at $699. Now, readers have added additional context in this note. The PS5 Pro is comparable to the PS5 Digital Edition, which is not included on this list. Didn't have the disc drive. PS5 Pro disc drive is $80, so the total value would be $778.99 for it to be a one-to-one with the rest of the PlayStation versions on this list, because that is correct. While the PS5 Pro does not have a disc drive, you can buy it separately. Every other console in this list does in fact have a disc drive, just to add a little bit of extra context. So pretty much the idea is the PS5 Pro is incredibly expensive. It is absolutely not worth it, and even comparing it to previous generations launch pricing, it absolutely does not work. So the question then becomes, how on earth did we get here? It all started off in August of 2022, where we saw for the first time, rather than prices going down for consoles later on in the generation, prices actually increasing. The PS5 prices did increase in pretty much most markets, but one of the markets that was oddly enough not increased was the US market. So, due to high inflation rates, the PS5 prices were increased in various markets on October 25th, 2022. This was announced. They did in fact go up, and then following that in 2023, Sony actually increased the price of the PS Plus subscription, going from Essential going from $60 to $80, Extra going from $100 to $135, and premium going from $120 to $160, being effectively a $20 increase for the lowest tier, a $35 increase for the extra tier, and a $40 increase for the premium tier, being a 20% increase across pretty much all of the, well, okay, it says roughly 30% across all tiers of PlayStation. So we've had PS5 console price increases, we've had PlayStation Plus price increases as of October last year. Now, as of about a couple of weeks ago, Sony hikes the price again in Japan, specifically by 20%. Now, this may very well be the fact that the Japanese yen isn't doing particularly well, and that might be in a way of some attempt in trying to cover the shortfall of prices going down, considering that PlayStation did in fact admit last year that we are already halfway through the generation, and they were expecting, and that rather not we, but they at PlayStation were expecting prices to effectively, or not prices, but like the amount of units sold to decrease over time. Doesn't help that the PSVR 2 also got a $100 price, $100 by the way, price hike in Japan pretty much I think last week. On top of that, Sony also increases the price of the DualSense worldwide, which then brings us to the situation we have today. Because there's no way in hell a PS5 Pro was going to cost less than the PS5. There was no way it was going to cost less than the PS5 Digital Edition. It does have a 2TB SSD. Astro's Playroom comes pre-installed, but that's pretty much a non-argument since all PS5s have Astro's Playroom installed. So, okay, sure, 2TB SSD. The PlayStation super sampling thing that they've got going on there, PSSR. And the only visual difference you have is a few extra lines, which might as well be lines snorted by the executives that actually thought this was going to be a good pricing structure. I am honestly bewildered by the pricing. Sure, this is meant to be something aimed at the higher tiered gamer, the person who makes more money, who has more money to burn effectively. Now, I personally am looking forward to the PSSR, but I will not be buying the PlayStation 5 Pro. I think that Sony absolutely sucks for this particular thing. As someone like me who plays primarily on my PS5, I say primarily, I primarily play on PlayStation. My PS3 is still running just fine. I play most of, if not all of my PS4 games on my PS5. A good amount of the games that they've shown off, especially the first game that was shown off during the presentation, was in fact a PS4 game in the form of The Last of Us Part 2. The PS5 Pro is absolutely not worth the money they're trying to sell it for. Its increases in value, or its value proposition, is just not worth it. And the problem is that there are people who are going to buy it. And that's going to tell Sony that, hey, the people who bought it are making the money for Sony that are making up for the shortfall in sales of the original PS5. We've had multiple price increases of PS5, of the PSVR 2, of the various accessories, in addition to PlayStation Plus also having been increased in price during this current generation. Something that we thought we would never see, or that we had never seen before. An increase in price mid-generation rather than a decrease in price, which is why when you look at something like the PS4 to PS4 Pro, how the PS4 Pro at launch cost less. That's because the PS4's price had actually decreased over the generation so that the PS4 Pro could in fact be a more affordable option, but still be able to provide very good performance, things like HDR and things like that. And in fact, the PS4 Pro enhanced label on a lot of PS4 games that actually have the labels on them. This is just terrible value proposition. I have nothing positive to say about it. This product is also aimed at me. If this product was $200 cheaper, I would have absolutely bought it. $700 USD in my local currency is nearly $1,200. And that is absurd, because I could make a PC with less money than what the PS5 Pro costs. Even if I traded in my PS5 for a PS5 Pro, it still just doesn't work. Because I made a PC for $1,000 in my local currency. This thing is priced at about almost $1,200 in my local currency. And most of the money went onto the monitor, not even the PC itself. So that just really kind of goes to show just how really not worth it this product is. But yeah, it's aimed at a specific few, and what I am one of the specific few, but even then I just don't see the value in this. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 300 subs by the end of the year. With all of that being said, I do have a Patreon link in the description below, so if you want to help support the channel or my addiction, or you want to help me actually buy a PS5 Pro, you can absolutely toss a few bucks down in that link in the description below. But with all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.